It's 5:34. I'm calling to order this workshop of the City Council of the City of Bandera. We're at 511 Main Street in City Hall, June 9th, 2022. All council members are present with the exception of Jerry Russ, who's still out of town. City Secretary is here. Allison Wright, the specialist, is here. She helped prepare this budget and has been working on it with me. Will is here somewhere, and Deputy Oberlechner is standing back there observing.
Deputy, the new deputy is here too. But
Oh, good. Well,
Will was
Mrs.
gonna make
Oberlechner
an
introduce
introduction here in a second
Gilbert.
when he gets off the phone.
Good deal.
Okay.
More minions.
What you have here is the first very rough draft. I'd like to go over the revenues with you and show you how we got there and ask a couple of questions and explain something to y'all that it's been a fundamental thing that's really bothered me for a long time. If you
Hold
look
on, Suzanne, real quick, before you get into that, let's do our introduction so they can
Okay.
go.
Yes.
Brett, do you want to introduce the new deputy?
I can,
Okay, since Will's on the phone.
this is Deputy Gilbert Ramirez.
Hi Gilbert.
Hello,
Gilbert.
how are y'all?
Excellent. Nice to
Nice to
meet
meet
you.
y'all.
He comes from Sonora, right?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
Ooh, oh, cool.
I'm
So
from
this-
Kerrville, but I was working in Sonora.
Oh, wow.
He lives in Kerrville now. He has some property in Bandera, and this is his second week, right? First week.
Technically the first week, I
Yeah.
guess, yeah.
So you
Fourth
grew up,
day.
you grew up in Kerrville?
I did, yes,
You
ma'am.
might know some of my people.
Who do you think?
The Kunzes, K-U-N-Z. We have to talk about it now.
Don't put them in a hard spot like that.
Put you on the
Come on.
spot.
Like, wait,
So
well.
this is Mayor Pro Tem.
Let's wait till the Christmas party, then
Mayor
ask hard
Shulman,
questions.
you've met her, Mayor Pro Tem Gibson.
I'm Rebecca. Nice to meet
Councilmember
you,
Christine
Gilbert.
Morris, Tony Coons, and Darcy Hasty.
Okay. Nice to
Yeah, the first time we met, I thought she was just a crazy old lady that hangs out at City Hall. Then we finally found out I was.
Well, you had it right the first time. I was gonna say they're not mutually exclusive, yeah.
So the only one missing
Nice to
is
meet you,
City
welcome.
Councilmember Jerry Russ,
Okay.
and he's the one that I told you owns the property.
Okay.
Okay.
What did you tell him about all of us?
You don't want to know.
I would disclose that.
Yeah.
But you are here.
Accurate information, I'm
Smart
sure.
man.
So welcome to.
Yes,
Bandera.
welcome.
Welcome.
Thank
We're
you.
glad you're
Thank you.
here.
Thank
Glad
you.
you're
All
here.
right, yeah, we'll let y'all do it.
Thank
Thank
you.
you.
Nice
Y'all
to
have
meet
a
y'all.
good night.
Nice to meet
See y'all around.
Bye. Okay, onward and upward. Okay, page 1. Property taxes.
Did you read off
No.
visitors to be heard?
Ma'am?
Sorry, did you? Just.
Visitors to be heard. Do we have any visitors to be heard?
No, ma'am,
Just
there are
to
no
be-
visitors to be
just
heard.
to-
I
You're
would skip
CYA.
that part. For the
Moving
record.
on.
I can check it
All right,
out.
item 3 is the workshop. A is discussion and overview of the 2022-2023 fiscal year budget. Okay, page 1. Interest in sinking is a set figure. We won't know until after we make the final payment in August if we're going to have any balance in that account. I don't believe we are. If we do, it will bring down this budget number, but again, I won't know until we make that payment in August. Property taxes, current. This $428,000 is based on the CAD's preliminary numbers, which they even said, and I gave a copy of this to all of you, said, you know, we're probably gonna lose some of this income after they make their adjustments and all that kind of stuff. But I used 90% of the re-estimated as they suggested, and we came up with $428,561. The property tax delinquent, we won't actually find that number out until July, the end of July, when we get our report from them. Here's that crazy mystery number that we haven't figured out what to do with yet. The auditors are in the middle of so many things right now, and this is one of the questions for them, along with some questions that have come up about some projects that were funded but weren't really funded. Funded on paper, the money was paid, but the journal entries were never made to bring it down. Like, it's
It wasn't funded
$100,000.
in accounting, but it was paid.
Yes, ma'am. It's an accounting error. It's not a. And
And this is the ARPA line that we're talking about?
yes, ma'am. That one's going to go away,
Okay.
which will bring our. Well, let's go on to The penalty and interest, we won't know, of course, and brings us to $499,616. However, in our year-to-date, if you add that 111 back in, we're up to $462,000 in year-to-date, which is very close to 100%. Other taxes, sales tax revenue. This again is a shot in the dark, guys. We don't know what it's going to be. If y'all want something in there as we get further down into the budget year, toward the end, we can always modify it up or down, but I think up is going to be the way we're going to want to go. And the $650,000 is only the share that the city keeps,
Okay.
and that leaves $325,000 to go to the EDC for their budget. Mixed beverage tax. This is something that's assessed every other year when an establishment gets their liquor license. It's a 2-year license. So, being conservative, I put 18,000 in there.
It says 20.
Tony.
What did I put?
20.
Oh, I put 20? Okay. I put 20 in there.
That's what we put
Year to
last
date is
year.
18,294, yeah. On the bingo, we put in 500 on bingo. That is, if y'all will remember, council, we did a resolution to get bingo tax, which is apart from the lottery. Okay, franchises. We've been looking to find out what these franchise fees are based on, the term of these franchise agreements, see where we are with all of this. So far, all I've come up with, well, let's start with cable franchise. We haven't gotten anything from ComZoom that we can find anywhere except when they first came into town. So we're going to contact ComZoom, request a copy of our franchise agreement, because they do use our easements for their equipment and to convey their cable stuff.
But we are getting payments from them, right?
Yes, we just,
don't know where the agreement is or how long it is.
Yeah, we've received
They're paying us,
$732 so far.
yeah.
So again, that's one that we can adjust as we
And they're
go
the
along.
only one?
Ma'am,
They're the only one?
the only one what?
What, were
The
there
only
other?
cable franchise.
The only cable franchise, yes.
Okay. When y'all get that agreement, could we get copies? I'd like to see it. Even email, I don't need it printed, but if you could shoot us an email, I'd like to see that.
The electric franchise, I did find the BEC franchise paperwork. It was signed or renewed or modified or whatever in 2020. It's a 5-year contract, and the city gets 3% of the gross receipts of bill from the city. So that
Only in the incorporated
one,
city
the incorporated
limits,
area.
right?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, no EDC? Or
ETJ.
ETJ? Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
The gas franchise, I haven't seen anything from Atmos yet. So again, these are just guesses. AT&T, haven't seen anything from them. Republic Services, again, it was renewed or a part of the contract that we signed in 2020. It too is for 5 years, and it's for 5% of the gross.
Can we just go back to electric real quick?
Yes, ma'am.
And that's 5%. Is that 3% of only the electric service, or is there anything with the fiber optic service?
Good question.
Right?
Rebecca, I didn't read the entire contract. I looked for the highlights that said we're going to give you 3%.
Right.
But I can look at that definitely and get back to
Because
you.
that would be
that's a
more
good-
income
A
for
lot
us.
more, yeah.
Wi-Fi 2.
Yeah. Yeah, because they do cable service as well, don't they?
Well,
That's
that's
the one she's talking about.
Is that just through the fiber optic, though, I would think?
That's who she's talking about.
I think so.
Yeah,
It's just through
BEC
the-
fiber.
Fiber-
I don't know what year
Well,
they started
I
that.
get, like, through BEC, of course, I get their electric and I get their fiber optic. I don't have any TV services through them, but you can.
Oh, I didn't
They don't
know
have
you
TV
could.
I
services.
didn't think you just
I
got the
think you can get
Wi-Fi.
satellite service through BEC.
Satellite? Would
I don't think you
really-
can.
Wouldn't it be
It's
coming
internet.
through
It's
the fiber?
internet. So if you had a
optic-
smart TV that ran through internet, you could get TV.
Well, I mean, that's how I get TV,
but
is
that's
that
not.
way, but.
Yeah,
That's not, that's not
there's no
a package.
actual
Yeah.
TV cable services.
I
through
don't know
BEC.
that there's not.
I'm almost
I'm not
positive
certain.
you can get
I mean,
satellite
like the
service.
BEC satellite network as opposed to Apple
Fiber.
and Prime.
Well, they
and-
have an internet satellite. I mean, that's what they put on that. Like,
That's not what I'm
or
talking about.
no, it's
though.
not because it's fiber optics.
Right.
Fiber internet.
Hey, we need to check into that.
Okay, I got notes. Okay, anything else on that, Rebecca?
I don't think so.
Alrighty. Then we're down to the street right-of-way fund. That does not change by much. It's a $2 fee on all of the utility accounts. Permits. This is a real shot in the dark. I have no idea. I went a little bit conservative. If y'all want to bump those up, we certainly can. It's just a guessing game. It really is, you know, so again, this is early in the process. So for residential permits, I put in 13,000. For commercial permits, I put in 15,000. If this mansion project starts to take off in the next few months, we might want to consider raising that residential permit, except it's going to be paid this year, so I don't know if he's going to actually be carrying it into next budget year or not.
Honestly, I'd rather us under budget and see it come in over than to.
And
Over
come short,
budget.
yeah.
I don't see cable or television, anything on. I just checked.
Okay.
I had it when I lived in Center Point, which through BEC had it too, so I didn't know if we have it here too, but I know they do in Center Point, or did.
Are we ready to go on? Okay. Sign permits, I put in 2,000.
200.
Banner permits, I put in 200.
Oh, 2,200.
Animal control fees, that's gonna be one of our workshops in the very near future. Impound fees, again, in the very near future. Service call, again, in the very near future. Animal tag fees, I put in 400, because that's an annual thing. Certificate of occupancies, I put in 1,500 again. Again, it's a guessing game. Y'all want to leave it there, take it down, whatever. As we get further into the budget year, we'll be able to tell more about it. The peddler's permit, I put 3,000. The alcoholic beverage permit fee, I put 12,000.
These are new ones?
No,
Or,
every year when they renew their license, they have to pay a fee to the city.
okay.
So they not only pay their taxes, they pay 1/2 of their licensing fee to the state, to the city. They also match it with 1/2 to the county. So if it's $3,000 to the TABC, it's $1,500 to us and $1,500 to the county,
Isn't it every 2 years?
every 2 years.
Zoning.
Okay, zoning change fee, left that at 300. The variance fee at 300. Chipping fee, we really need to encourage this chipping thing.
I need to order some chipping,
I was going around and I've seen some, I guess
especially if you don't
after,
want me to burn it.
don't burn it. After the cleanup, I noticed some brush still around and I think we really need to push that. Come on, you know, it's gonna cost a little bit, but let's get it out of here and then the mulch can be used or given away or whatever we do with that, so.
Well, they
you know.
can leave it on site too.
Yeah, but then we have a pile of crushed up stuff in the, I'm just saying if they don't want to use it for mulch,
Right.
historically we've
city
taken it
can
to the
take
city
it.
yard.
Yeah, no, I think there's a lot of people that don't even know that service is
I
offered.
didn't know.
Yeah.
I didn't know until we talked about it right here.
It's something we can add to the utility bill or even put an insert in now that we're not doing another insert.
I would do that and maybe even do something on the Facebook page, like do a flyer and post it as a flyer, you know, to people that, because they don't, a lot of people get their mail, they get that bill electronically and they don't look at anything that's
Yes.
included in it. So
But
they
I
don't
think it
know that
needs
there's
to be-
information in
Needs to
there.
be full circle, is that, you know, we'll take the mulch and then where we keep it, and then it's free for the grabbing if you need mulch, or, you know,
Come
like.
between a
Like,
specific hour
Cause
though.
isn't there a rock pile down there that we can take from too that nobody knows about?
Well, quite
Hope
a
not.
bit of that they used
There
to,
used to be, I don't know if that.
Yeah, you're
what
talking
we have
about
down
where they
there
made the
now,
horse trailer parking,
Yeah.
where the rock was
Yeah, they
stored
put-
on somebody else's property that we had to clean off.
yeah, they put some on the 14th Street property that EDC has, and put some down here on the Cedar
Right.
Street property.
But any of that stuff, it's like, I mean, people don't know it exists.
Well, I don't really want to encourage people to go take things from that area because all the bricks that we just took up from Heritage Park are now sitting out there. They're not behind the fence, they're behind like the park wire
cable
thing,
wire.
the cable wire. I would like to see that used in our riparian grow zone down there in the park in the next year
Yeah,
or so.
point is, it's materials that we can use for projects that don't
Well, we
need to be
put
given
proper
away.
signage on it
to the
that says
public.
city property, you
Yeah,
know,
do not touch.
yeah, penalty for whatever.
No fishing.
The
Yeah.
first
We also have people out there in the community saying, oh, sure, you can go take it, when it's not theirs to give away.
The first night that it was put out there, Terry said as they were locking the gates at the yard that they saw a black dually backed up to it loading bricks into it. And then they just hauled off and he didn't get a license plate number or anything.
Again, signage, communication. I mean, it's like,
Or could we not
you
have
know,
put
or
it
put a
somewhere
tarp
else?
I
over
said
it.
that
or-
too. I walked by it and I'm like, anybody can pull up with a trailer and just load up and be gone in the middle of the night.
And there's a lot of it. It's not just one
And if
pile.
that's what y'all want done, I'm gonna go do it. So, I just think it's material that we can
Definitely.
use.
And that's why I don't want to encourage people to go get some rocks or some
We'll need to tell
whatever
Public Works to
without.
go get it covered up or
Can
something.
you have
signage
them
and-
put that in their patrol list so they can go by there periodically, please?
I mean, can
So
we
we
put
can-
it-
I will tell you that when I first started working here, they had mulched up a bunch of stuff, and then I'm driving by one day and I see 2 carloads of idiots down there. I done caught some, and went down there and, you know, and I called Hagemeyer and said, I done caught some thieves down here, and he went, oh no, we let them do that.
Yeah, so,
I mean,
That's
especially over those
Processes,
bricks, can we not put a
communication.
tarp over them?
I mean,
or
even the
something?
mulching, if we decide we wanna give it to them, they should probably make a time to meet somebody and
Yeah.
But I believe at one
Not just
time
a
that
free
was the policy.
verify they're from the city.
The mulch is free, but you gotta be here between 2 and 4 or
Well, I
8
know,
and
but-
10 or whatever.
But we want it to be city people, we want it to be.
Yes, they're city
yeah,
residents,
not
they have to
professional
have a water bill.
landscapers.
Yeah.
Well, you can't have any mulch. Okay, the last one on this section is special events permit. I just put 500 in there. The marshal revenue. A vast majority of the marshal revenue we cannot spend within the budget. Therefore, what we have in here is the marshal report revenue at 500. The Leo's training funds, which we haven't gotten recorded yet. You haven't received those yet, right?
To have,
You have?
yes ma'am.
Okay, well, we need to get that figured out and get that posted. And the marshal's miscellaneous revenues, which is everything that isn't Leo's or whatever that we can possibly use within the budget. Municipal court fines, went to 70,000 on that because they're doing, I don't know if it's with MBVA on board that they're doing better than expected or what the deal is, but anyway, shoot for 70.
I'd love to see some littering ticketing increase in the city park. Give those
To
tickets out
include
like
cigarette
candy.
butts sitting at traffic lights.
Banner for permits.
All that.
Jury fees, 0. Warrant fees, 3,000. We're already at 2010. Restitution, the court doesn't collect restitution. Restitution is dispersed back to the victim. Yes? Okay, thank you. And due from MVBA, 2,500. Park revenue. I left it the same right now because we're just barely getting into park season, so as we get deeper into the budget, we can see where we want to go with that. Park pavilion rental, put 1,000 there. Season park pass. Now, if you'll look at your current year notes, Allison, who does a lot of the park stuff, wanted to know if council would just involve the season park pass in with the season park admittance and eliminate that line, and that way we just have one line to have to deal with.
The reason I want to do that is because now we offer park passes at the gate for people that aren't residents, and there's no way at the end of the day when I'm plugging in the park cash for me to separate the two. So I feel like you're not getting an accurate number on the park pass because it's included in the admission now.
So I understand what you're saying, but maybe we should have, I mean, do we not keep track of what the park pass we're giving out and who it went to?
We do, we have a folder, they fill out a paper, we have record of their name, their address, their phone number. We would just have to do separate deposits and run it through Encode separately
Okay.
to make
I'm
it separate
totally,
in the
from
budget.
an accounting perspective, I'm totally okay with, but I think it's interesting to see how many park passes we actually generate versus, but if we have the paperwork and have a number.
We have the paperwork.
Then
we
it
get
doesn't,
the
to me, it
definitely
doesn't matter.
increased.
It's definitely increased since we've been selling them at the gate. I mean,
Good.
this past weekend, I think they sold 3, which isn't a ton, but I mean, it's more than we,
Would before.
Because the
It's
people
sold
that
during
are
the-
buying them can't come in because it's usually out of towners.
Yeah.
So they're not gonna be able to make it up here. So when she started putting them in the thing, now people have that option.
That was a good idea.
That is a
they're
good
buying
idea, 'cause
them.
that's a complaint, like, well, I'm never around when City Hall's
Yeah.
open or whatever, so yeah.
yeah, it's done really well selling them down there. It's just hard to,
I'm
Separate it.
good with
And
that.
especially
I
if they
would
pay
like
with
to
their
know the
credit
number,
card.
but I'm good with it
Yeah,
being.
I mean,
From accounting perspective, if that.
Yeah, and when we do, just, I mean, even like when we do the end, like we do a park report or something,
Mhm.
if we had just as an annual report, like, this is how many we sold this year, or
Yeah.
whatever, but
Right.
yeah, I don't, as far as counting goes, I don't care how much.
Yeah, something we
dollar
haven't done
amount.
before, that's a good idea,
Yeah.
let us know where we are.
How about, do we need to add Summerfest income line item, or can we just
Can we
do
just
a,
make go
change
away?
it, I don't know.
Can we
You
remove
mean
it
change, because there it says Riverfest
Riverfest.
Well,
right
we
now?
could change the name to
We can
Summerfest,
change that.
what's it called?
Summerfest.
We could change the name to Summerfest.
I think we should just call it special event.
Sure, that's
Or
what I'm
something
Yeah,
of that
because
kind
what
of
if
think.
something else comes up
Right.
throughout the year, then we're not limited to just.
Special events.
Well, we have special events over here in,
It's not
especially
But
the
it's
permit.
not under the park.
I think
Yeah,
we need
let's
a
do
park.
keep it under park
Park.
special
Special
event. That's my thought.
And would you say 6,000 on that one? 5,000, what do y'all think?
No idea.
Does it really, you wanna wait another week until we actually see how much it is and then we can fill in the blank?
Yeah.
Sure.
Yeah.
So we don't have anything budgeted for this fiscal year there. Is that because last year they had it
There
at
wasn't.
Twin Elm?
Because we didn't have it at the
Right.
park.
But what about the years I mean, there's,
It only goes to 1920.
1920, so that would have been
COVID,
2020.
Yeah,
21?
they didn't have it, they had it out at
Twin
Twin Elm
Elm.
last year.
And they didn't have it the year before, I don't think.
Because of
of
COVID.
COVID, right, okay.
Okay. So we'll make that adjustment. All right, this line I want to talk to you about, 10-30466 EDC to City Park Mitigation. Originally, this line was created when we did the softball field and the, what else did we do, council? I lost,
Bleachers.
The hitching post, the,
the hitching post, yeah. So anyway, That's what this
At
line
some
was
point, we
created.
did
And the
the extra
playground.
9 holes on the disc
On
golf.
oh,
too.
the
right.
disc golf, you're
Disc
right.
golf.
right?
Disc golf and the,
And we got that new playground stuff with the
Yeah,
shade and all
that they
that.
actually
we
built
did
it.
the softball field and the disc golf course. That's all we did.
And
With
the
the
year,
EDC
and the year
money?
before was the hitch and well, we did the playground, like they actually made they welded
Yeah,
they
and we
made,
got all new swings and rope swings and
I think all that
they
came out
took
of
the
that same
spider
year.
thing down and all that.
Well, we sent to EDC for reimbursement, or invoices, whatever we did with it, they agreed and it was park stuff. That's why this line was created. I argued about this last year, but I didn't argue really vehemently. This 25,000 that's in this budget, EDC paid that at Jill's request for the Texas Parks and Wildlife grant, the matching portion for the playground equipment.
So in this current fiscal year.
For this fiscal year.
Okay.
So this is not actually money that we can spend within the budget.
Okay.
Where it is, and I'm getting all these reports up to date for you too, is in our account number 69, which is the Texas Parks and Wildlife grant. Y'all don't see those normally, but I think that you should it's an informational thing because it shows you where we are on our different grants, loans, and projects, our street project, our different grants. How much, but they haven't been funded in 3 years. By that I mean the blanks have not been filled in. The money is there, the money has come in, but they haven't been set up. Like if the budget was $3 million,
So this should be zeroed out right here on this line
Yes.
so this should be a nothing. This should be a zero.
for a budget.
Okay?
Yep.
So once I get all those funded, we'll be able to share it with you in council, but it's kind of a guessing game because we know what we did the year before, we know what we did, but we're gonna dig back through all of that to bring you a current number. Like if engineering is 20,000 in 2019 and 40,000 in 2020 and 60,000 in 2022, then we don't have $200,000 in engineering. We're down to this much in engineering. So I need to be able to backtrack through all of that and give you guys some numbers and show you where we are on the project. We're just about finished with the drinking water SRF as far as the construction. That's the mulberry tank. That's really just about the end of it. But we've got so many other things going too that, just so y'all will get this, it's for an FYI. You don't budget it, you just
Okay. I'm just aware of
double
it.
check on where it went and how we
Okay.
spent it. Okay, the bank interest income, this is another research project. Historically, it wasn't done until September the 28th. This is something that can be done every single month when you get in the bank statements and every quarter when you get the statements from the CDs. Okay.
So when can we expect an actual number?
Ma'am,
When can we expect an actual number?
on the year-to-date, Allison, you want to put that on your list of projects? Let's try to get to them by the end of next week.
Sure.
Is that good? Okay, charge for services. We don't make a whole lot on services.
Free.
I pay
I
for
said
my
free,
copies.
free, notary's free.
I have never had anybody come in and ask, I mean, I've never charged anybody for a copy, but I don't make copies for people, so I don't.
Well, we do and you would not believe this, we do probably more notary work than we do dog pickups in the city.
Yeah.
And we don't charge for that service.
I don't think we're allowed to.
Really?
Yeah.
No. We do
Oh, I
a lot,
didn't.
you wouldn't even believe how many people. I'm a notary, she's a notary, Jeanette's a notary, Amber used to be.
Why
And like,
can't you charge for notary?
we have people come in constantly.
I thought you just said you can't.
You
I'm
can as an
saying I'm
individual, as an employee of the city, we cannot. If I was
So the
doing
city
it on my
can't
free
charge a
time, I
fee?
can.
I don't know, that's a legal
No.
question.
I
Yeah,
think
mean,
you
we
can.
don't,
I
we don't
know-
have it on our fee schedule, so no.
And I
we
don't,
do
I mean,
charge.
it's not gonna make or break the break, I'm just saying, it is
Well,
time
it's
that the
taking,
city.
yeah, it's
Do we-
taking y'all's time away
I
from
was
other
gonna say, yeah, do we
duties.
And maybe
advertise
if
that we
it's
provide
for-
notary
maybe
We
if
do
it's
services?
a
not, but people just come in, the
If
county and
it's
the
a
library.
citizen that has a utility bill, maybe it's free. Does anybody else, we have a fee. or something of that sort.
It's
I mean,
really-
but
I
we,
mean-
we might wanna entertain.
For me,
adding
it would
to
be,
the fee
it's
schedule.
hard, I think, like, cause these people that come in are usually elderly people and they just really need help and they're like, I don't,
Well, then we've got business
barely
cards
got
of
the
mobile
doors,
notaries in this
wedding
town to
and-
hand out. I mean, we don't need to be having
That's me, I'm a mobile.
our,
I never-
our money, again, citizens' money's paying for free notary service. I mean, that's weird.
Okay, let's just look into that.
Yeah,
So-
One
the
of those
county,
things.
the county charges people, I know they do in the county clerk's office,
Yeah.
They
they
do?
charge,
Okay.
I think it
Well,
should
maybe
be a
we can
fee.
see what their fees are
Gwen is a
and
notary,
Yeah, I don't think
copy
we
of what
should
those
be
are.
yeah.
giving,
I think
yeah.
it's like $6 for, per page.
I get if they need
I
help,
have
but
the
then,
fee schedule in my
you know,
truck.
there's mobile notaries in town that can sit down and read documents with them and stuff. So I wouldn't take on that responsibility.
Okay, we'll look into that one.
Just
Giving y'all
curious,
some
and maybe
facts.
this is slightly off topic, but if I come in for a service and I need to pay the city for whatever service, can they just add it to my utility bill for that month? Can they like bill it?
What kind of service?
Well, whatever, whether it's a notary or chipping
I mean, like
fees
chipping
or
fee,
Shipping gets
yes,
added.
but I
Shipping
don't
gets
know
added.
about, I mean, we've never done a
Seems
notary,
like
but I know we do
anything
add,
could be added
we have
to a
added
utility
like
bill.
dog fees and, like, you know, for being in the pound, we've added those kind of things.
Just
I would just have
curious.
to make like a fee code for
Read
it
it,
and then
right.
it could be added to their bill, yeah.
Okay.
Okay, well, we'll do a fee policy, but put that on the fee schedule.
There you go.
Okay, other services. Miscellaneous income, I hate miscellaneous income.
So does Darcy.
Over and short, hate over and short.
Mm-hmm.
Utility management fees, this is going to be a fill-in-the-blank number at the end of the budget process because the general fund does not generate enough money to support itself. We transfer money in from the utility fund for, basically, the utility pays the city for the streets. General fund pays to repair the streets. Public Works drives up and down the street, so that's how you kind of justify the utility department paying the general fund
For the streets.
to offset the budget. This year, it's $111,170 is what it took to balance, $118,000, I'm sorry, is what it took to balance the budget. And of that, we are, we're already 91,596 in the hole, leaving us 26,574 without making any further budget amendments to balance. Yes, ma'am.
Can we try to make me feel better for a second?
Sure.
On the miscellaneous income, like where's that coming from? And why
This-
don't we have a line for it?
I don't know. This is something that, I'm sorry, we've mentioned looking at, we just never
It's
got
only
around to looking at it.
$131 this time.
Oh, that's
but,
what I
yeah.
thought, I was like, well, where is it?
Yeah.
Top of the
$131.
last
think
group on
after-
page 3.
After budget, see, when this came up last year, the intention was to try to code things
Probably.
to avoid using that line item.
Right.
And it looks like y'all have done a really great job of that, because it's gone,
So,
We'll
it's
look at it.
$131.
one of the things that's in there is, that you and I just talked about it, is that rebate we got from Staples.
That's $63, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I
So
mean, where are
stuff
you gonna
like
put
that, it's like,
Well, that would go back,
On your office
I would
supplies.
think
You
it would
would
go back
credit
to
on your office
supplies.
yeah,
supplies.
whatever it was originally taken out of.
And then there's the issue where the office supplies are spread across every department and
Well, it should go back for whatever item it was. So if it's a stapler for in here, then it should go
it's
back
not
for
for a
that, or
particular
whatever.
item.
No,
It's just
for
money
cash-
back. They
yeah,
give you
just
Yeah.
like
percentage back
cash
of your
back
sales.
for your.
It's like 2% back
Purchases.
for spending so much money.
Well,
So then you're gonna
that
spread
makes sense.
$63 across
Well, that
all the
makes
departments.
that makes
Yeah.
sense. That's a perfectly good answer to me. You know what I mean? Like that makes sense.
But I think in the beginning, like if you look at the 2019, that we had 19,000,
Yeah.
everything was being put to that at that time.
Well, it's easy.
Yeah.
And that's to me, it's unacceptable.
And I know that, like now I know for sure Allison especially brings stuff all the time and says, what is this? Where should it go? What should it be coded to? Don't process things through the front because then they just code it to anything, you know, like let's put it where it needs to be.
Okay.
Right.
Okay, are we ready for, we've done the utility management fees, master plan we're done with, Citibank rebate. Allison, you wanna explain? We talked about the Citibank rebate, that it was court fees, right?
No, this is our city credit card
It's a credit
that we
card.
pay
You
all
get
of
money
our
back.
stuff on. We get rebate, and yeah, we get money back
just-
based on how much we spend. So that's why we started putting more on there, so we can start getting more back.
So
Well,
we
why don't you
switched
just-
from the American, excuse me, do you wanna go ahead?
I was just gonna say, we could just do a rebates line and put the staples in there, the Citibank, so any kind
Yeah.
of payback money that we get, we could put it in one.
So for history, when I started in 2017, the city credit card was a personal American Express card of the city manager at the time. And all the purchases were being made on this personal American Express card. So it was discussed between Suzanne and I and others to get a city card and one that offered cash back so that we would have money for maybe like Christmas party or employee appreciation, things like that. So when we did that, then that money, it wasn't very much because it was just like whatever we were using. So then we said, well, can we get a credit card specific for paying the Republic bill, but not paying any interest because we're gonna pay it and then pay it off, but we're gonna get that rebate on that bill, cause it's what, like
About
$30,000.
And as long as they don't charge you a fee for
Yeah.
using a credit card.
And they
then
don't,
benefits
No.
you.
and then we're like, okay, well, we're doing Republic, let's pay BEC,
BEC.
cause that's another huge bill. So now we're getting this big rebate back because we're paying these bigger bills and getting cash back.
Yeah, what do y'all think
And it's
about
coming
putting all
to the city
all
instead of
of them
going
in
to
one?
somebody's personal points account.
Yeah, I think it should just be a rebate line
just
and
call it
include
rebate?
that staples in there and the credit
Yeah.
card and all of that.
So just take off Citibank and call it rebate.
Just credit rebate.
I like it. And then
Okay.
the $4 with the overage or short is just like, you end up with $4 in a drawer.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes people run out and forget their change or,
So if you look,
Human error, sometimes they don't give $1 back or something.
so if you look at the bottom line, before we go on, the current budget is $1,710,235. This year's budget so far is $1,631,962, but remember that does not include that plug number to transfer in for management fees to balance the budget. Because when we get to the very end, I'll show you that the budget is currently out of balance by about 50,000. Do y'all want to skip the departments for right now, please, and let's just go back to the utility income, and then the next budget, next workshop, we can have departments, look at the council, the administrator, the secretary, the marshal, and the court, if we have time to get them all in that one.
so what page are we going to on the bottom
Well, I'd
right
like to go
corner?
first to page 25,
Sorry,
to show you that bottom line.
revenue bottom line for general fund.
Yeah. So you'll see that the requested budget is $91,701 out of balance right now. Just
You
wanted to
said
show
page
that.
25.
She's talking about the page number on the top.
Top
Not
page.
on the bottom.
okay.
Page 26 on the bottom.
at the bottom.
26 at the bottom.
I'm like,
Okay.
whoa.
My pages are wrong.
Just wanted to show that to you right now. Okay, utility revenues.
Yeah, I'm still there, digesting it.
Didn't really make any change in utility revenues because that's just a discussion that council will have at a workshop down the road. I do ask council to keep in mind that with this wastewater project coming, we're gonna have to figure out some way to finance it. The HMPG, that application is going in August, I believe.
This
It's
HMPG.
It's a $14 million application, and remember, council is not obligated to this. This is just a information thing. Y'all agreed to apply, but so the application is going. It's $14,700,000. Now it's 90% federally funded. So the obligation of the city would be $1,470,000 and change. It's the
So
best-
90% grant.
90% federal grant. Yes. Well, it's not exactly a grant, Rebecca. It's a reimbursement project. However, for some cities like ours, which don't have big fat bank accounts, they have gone ahead and advanced the money so that our contractors don't have to sit out for 60 days waiting
Okay.
until we get the money.
Yeah, they front the money in a special account that we
By
can't actually
invoice.
touch, yeah.
Right.
They
So
don't
just so you
give
know,
us it all,
this is
it's
happening.
technically.
So we don't have $1.4 million sitting around to pay our portion of this, but it wouldn't be until the 24-25 budget that councils would have to worry about it. But I would love to see us do some sort of planning ahead to get ready for this. You know, because we don't want to hit everybody with these huge increases
In one
at
fiscal
one
year,
time.
right?
You know, so
Can you tell me, what is this grant, what is this program, HMPG?
HMPG.
What is it?
What's the acronym for?
What department is it through?
Oh, it's not TM, it's
I've
HUD.
got it on my desk, I can go pull it.
It's HUD.
So that's Department of Agriculture.
Yes,
Housing.
HMGP.
Hazard Mitigation
HMGP.
Program Grant. I don't know.
I don't know.
We've been through so
Because
many of these
it-
guys.
I've got a million boxes in the hall, let me see if it says what it is.
So anyway, back to the revenues. So I didn't even mess with the revenues, the reclaimed water, any of this, the disconnect fees, connection fees, garbage fees.
Well, a lot of it, I mean, there's a, oh no, I'm sorry, current budget.
Hazard mitigation grant program.
That's
It's
it.
a FEMA hazard mitigation program,
Hazard
provides
mitigation.
funding to the state.
GP,
Grant
Yeah,
program.
HM.
Yes, it's GP.
Hazard Mitigation Grant Program. What did I say?
program.
Grant.
Yeah.
Thank you, Tony.
Your B's and your P's mixed up.
CDBG.
So reclaimed water and bulk water, we're no longer doing anymore those, so we zeroed those out.
Right, so we just zeroed those out.
So they'll be inactive after this year.
Tap fees, wastewater fees, those would all be addressed in the fee schedule. Fee. Garbage. I figured in just a flat 5%. They usually send us a letter in June telling us how much they're gonna go up. The contract says no more than 5%, it's usually 3%. And then we add on another percentage for the paperwork,
Revenue.
the handling and all that kind of thing.
I can guarantee you it'll go up
Excuse me?
5% because of fuel. They'll go up the whole 5% because of fuel.
Very
Gonna have
possibly,
to.
but then,
I guarantee you they will.
Yeah, there, I mean,
well, let's wait until we get the letter from Mr. Armstrong and we can figure that one out when it gets here. We'll just have to go up ourselves. I mean, that's just all we can do. For a couple of years, somehow or another, the garbage contract was not paying for itself. And I don't know if that was just a,
Remember that?
well, I know kind of how it happened, but you know, when you don't figure the rates correctly, you just don't have any.
Yeah, well, there were people not paying for
I was
service.
gonna say, I also think there was a lot of people getting service that were not paying for service, or people that were paying for one toter and they had 3 toters and things like
and
that
there's been
that
a lot
were.
of cleanup for that.
Yeah.
Oh, a lot, yeah. We're very on top of it these days and we check the bills and print out reports and make sure what we're
Well-
paying is what we're charging and all that, so.
Well, will you hit the thermostat down a few degrees, please?
Are you
I'm
happy?
not
I
flash.
might be.
Yeah, no, you're fine.
Is it, y'all aren't hot?
I'm almost
You're next,
cold.
Red. Welcome to
Might
my
have to go
world.
get a jacket.
Perimenopausal.
Yeah, it's definitely not hot.
If you have any sort of like lizard blood in you, you can't work in this place, except in
Since November.
Jill's office. It's freezing cold in there, it's hot up here.
Oh, it's cold
They
in our
have a-
office.
they
We have
have a
heaters
heater.
'cause our office is controlled by his thermostat.
They have a
And
heater
they wear
in
all their
office
heavy
that runs
gear,
in
you know, so
June.
they're.
No, I have one of
Never.
mine too. I tell my girls just do whatever. Half of them are older than me, and I just tell them put it on whatever y'all want. I have a heater and a fan in
Yeah,
my
we
office.
and Jeanette both have heaters at our desks.
So,
All right,
and I
now
have a new
we're gonna
building. So
Finish this up right quick.
Yes, it's
So-
you, sorry.
Late fees at 15,000, NSF fees at 400. charge for services due from MVBA. They are only collecting on our court accounts right now. I need to find out, you know, how we get them into our delete.
utilities.
But again, council sort of had the feeling that we don't want to go over after the 90-year-old couple back there that moved to Tennessee to live with their daughter and left their electric bill. I mean, their water bill. So it's kind of hard to judge where you want to go with that. Okay, payment discount revenue. I don't know why we even have that, but we do.
Payment
I have no idea.
discount.
That's another mystery number.
Well, where'd that $18 come
Come
from?
from, yeah, you got the discount.
Payment
So why are we budgeting?
And how would it be
$300?
revenue if it's somebody's getting a discount?
I
Yeah,
can look
Oh.
into it,
Well,
but I don't know, to be honest with y'all.
Payment discount.
Credit card surcharge fee.
That's worded strangely. Like,
Made that
I know, it's
5,000.
like it just doesn't even, I can't even, yeah.
Okay, miscellaneous revenues. Nothing under miscellaneous revenue. Council, in here I put 42.5 for one half of the principal for the Texas Water Development Board loan again this year. I don't know how y'all want to go with that, but I want to show you, because this is something we might want to consider, because especially in our M&Os. If you would look on page 2 of the revenues, the next page.
Page 28.
Yes, ma'am. You will see the 2021 Texas Water Development Board fifth. That's a $99,000 payment. This is our first year to make payment on that loan. It's a zero interest loan, so there won't be any increase in interest and sinking, but there will be an increase in M&O. So, I don't know if y'all want to approach EDC with that, or if you want to just let the Texas Water Development Board ride. That's a discussion for another workshop on another day. We'll schedule one with the EDC soon. So I just want to bring that to your attention.
when do we expect their budget for approval?
I talked to, probably not until, but their budget is not fit into our budget anymore. So we don't have to have it prior to the end of our budget in order to roll it in.
Okay.
So as long as we have it by September 30th, we've had it as late as October the 5th.
Okay.
But their budget is no longer, once we separated their books from ours, it's not the same thing anymore.
Okay.
Anyway, so then on
That's it
the
for
revenues,
Isn't it?
My mind
if you
was
look at the
going somewhere.
very last page again,
I
on
was waiting for
page,
you to say when we're back to work.
section 2, page
It's
9.
the same date.
Page 35.
Page
Page 35.
Y'all have different numbers? Do they have
The
numbers?
numbers
on
on
the
the
At the very
bottom.
At the
bottom.
bottom.
You don't
Oh,
have these.
because you wanted that, you
Because
kept
you
your.
don't have a packet,
Oh, it doesn't
actually.
matter, I'm good.
That explains.
We're on the left
I've
page.
been making notes on mine all along, Council, that's why mine doesn't match everybody else's, so.
Gotcha.
Anyway, I want you to see right here, on the year-to-date actual, our budget for the year-to-date actual shows that we've collected $820,706. Oh, that's expenses.
Did
never
you
mind,
say the last
expenses.
page?
That's
Yes.
expenses, yes, I'm sorry,
So
I'm looking at
35?
expenses versus
35.
revenue. So expenses versus revenue, we've spent $820,716 in public works. Right now, the utility account is $351,270 to the good. Now remember, 118 of that is owed to,
The
or
general.
can be owed to the general. And the budget that we presented to you tonight, without any increases to speak of, this budget is to the good $337,389. But then, of course, we'll need to balance the general.
Wow, you guys did a lot of work already.
We've been working hard.
It's great.
Yeah, and Council, y'all, I'm sure y'all know this, you've heard us talk about it or fuss about it. There's no central location for anything, these franchise contracts. some back here, some up there, should be over there, there's nothing over here. I would like to start scanning these things and get them in some sort of central location. Who knows where they are, you know? But we'll get to the bottom of it, we'll find it, and we'll see what's going on. When we get to talking about salaries, TMRS has gone down 1%, but the TML insurance is going up. These are things that we'll discuss at great length when we get into the salaries. If y'all agree, I would like to address the general fund departments in our next budget meeting. I would like to exclude streets and parks, not seasonal parks, but parks, because they fall under the utility department, of the public works department. And I would like to do all of that at one time, so Lance can be here for one night and one night only. So
That sounds fine.
So
that's
next
pretty
week we're doing departments all but streets and what?
much parks.
Streets and parks.
And is this on the Thursday?
So no
Next-
public works,
it's-
no streets, no
Okay,
parks.
here's the
Two
deal.
Thursdays, right?
Two
Like this-
Thursdays,
yeah,
right.
it's
Yeah, I
like-
won't
But
be
the
here
it's the
next
same week as our next meeting, but it's on a Thursday.
The 23rd is an EDC meeting,
Hold on.
so we can't meet that
Okay.
Thursday.
Does the EDC meet at 6?
Yes.
Why don't we come in at 5 and do one department?
Darcy can't get here at 5.
Oh, I apologize.
Are we talking about next week?
The
week
23rd.
23rd.
The 23rd?
So our regular meeting, let's just go back to, so the next regular meeting would be the 21st. So we're gonna have a workshop before that meeting to discuss code enforcement and the things we talked about the other night, right?
Yep.
Okay, so that'll be on the 21st. Then the 23rd would be our next thing, but that's EDC's meeting. So we'd have to meet before or after unless we wanna move that workshop to the next day, the Wednesday, the 22nd, or to the next week when we don't have a meeting at all, which would be the 30th.
They meet at,
What do
EDC
I
meets
have?
at 6.
So
Yeah.
why don't we do the 28th?
I can do, if we wanna only meet for an hour, we can do 5.
Why do I have 6
As
PM
long as
city
it's-
council on the 27th?
So yeah, the 30th
That's a
doesn't
special
work,
meeting
so we
for
could
the
do
admin.
28th.
Why don't we tag on a workshop
Or if
there?
everybody wants to do it really early, I could even probably, on that Thursday, I could probably do like 4.
May I throw this out there? Rebecca just reminded me, on the 27th, council, y'all don't even know this yet. We're having a special
Oh.
meeting at 6 PM. We'll be interviewing the administrator candidates, the final 2, and hopefully come up with a candidate for that night. So we could come earlier that night, but that could turn out to be a rather
Yeah, let's
long,
not-
drawn-out evening.
I don't wanna cut that short. I mean, let's just dedicate, so that's Monday the 27th at what time?
I thought
6
you
p.m.
sent an email about that.
6
Maybe.
PM?
I
Yeah.
don't remember seeing it.
No, me either.
Monday at 6 PM.
Okay, and then I may or may not be having to have a public hearing on the 29th for PNC about this mansion thing. I'll know that tomorrow. And then the 30th is not available either because we have a meeting for the budget, budget workshop.
Oh, yeah, we're not
So
gonna
we're
be
gonna
here.
have to go back to
We won't be here the
the,
29th or the 30th. There's a tax rate, no, there's a TML tax rate budget workshop.
Oh, that's the one we were
Difficult.
talking about, the emails. Did you
Yeah.
find out if they're the same content on
Two
both? They're
different,
two
yeah.
different things?
Mhm.
Okay.
So we can talk about the 23rd. I can, if it's, as long as it's not, as long as it's not a regular thing where I'm having to take off work
Anybody want to do
early
the
all the
23rd at 5
time.
o'clock and just go ahead and,
and that's for departments?
that's for
Except
departments.
for,
Except for
for-
streets
I
and
kinda wanna
parks.
make sure I posted it right.
I mean, if they're gonna
Okay.
start at 6, and if it's only me holding it up, I could even be here like at 4:30.
Well,
if it's
it's
a
a
one-
workshop. It doesn't,
We'll just get done what we
when
can
it's
get
over,
done.
it's over. We'll just
Yeah.
pick up where we left off and move on
Yeah.
to the next.
We'll start with
Yeah,
the
cause it's been
department.
almost an hour tonight, we start at 5:30, so if we don't get through every department, we'll move it to the
Yeah.
next one, cause we're
We
early
started
in
at
the budget
5:34
year.
because Rebecca was late.
Oh, well.
So the 23rd at 5?
June,
5 p.m. Yeah.
5 p.m.
Darcy?
Yep.
Okay.
Thank you,
Thank you, Darcy.
Yeah. Because I'm gonna be out next week a lot because I'm gonna be out for the Republican convention, and then on the 24th I am going to the ACOG
cross.
good.
Yeah, I signed up too.
So I'm going
Okay.
to that.
I signed up for that too.
Cool.
Before we
We can
adjourn,
ride together. if you want.
So 21st, 5:30, just so everybody's straight, 5:30 workshop, and then 6 o'clock meeting.
I just got an email too.
27th is a special meeting for admin, and then the 23rd at 5 for workshop, right?
we're gonna get big checks this
Everybody's
month.
got that.
Yeah.
Woo! I'm going on vacation.
Quickly, council, just think about this. On my budget workshop list, I'm doing like I used to do when I worked for the DA, I'm writing everything on my folder. We need to discuss the utility rates, the fee schedule, the employee pay, which includes the insurance increase, the tax rate, and department budgets. I can't think of anything that we specifically have workshop topics on. And some of these will require public hearings, but anyway, we're good to go on all of that, so. 6:29, do I have a vote, a motion?
Move to adjourn,
Thank you,
ma'am.
Rebecca. Second, 15, discussion, all in favor? All in favor, no, Tony, thank you. 6:29.